No one can deny that Starship will be a remarkable achievement when it successfully travels into space. Clearly, this is a technological feat and a historically significant marvel. It will be remembered by future generations as a quantum leap in deep space and planetary science, as Musk predicts. However, what do contemporary scientists really think about SpaceX's spacecraft? Stay tuned as we dive into this and more in today's episode of Alpha Tech. There are always more questions than answers for scientists, and there are always more missions they want to accomplish than money available to them. We're discovering that the solar system holds more surprises than we originally thought. As we grapple with the disappointment of being unable to venture into the vast celestial expanse and unravel its mysteries, consider this alluring possibility. Starship, a revolutionary rocket from SpaceX, boasting unprecedented lifting capabilities, low cost, and reusability. It'll accomplish feats not achievable by just any rocket, signaling the advent of a new era in solar system exploration. Yes, it's true. And it's not just us recognizing this. Even renowned scientists worldwide have to believe in it. Picture this. Envision dispatching a lander to Europa, a moon boasting a vast and warm subsurface ocean, a spectacle beyond imagination. In NASA planning sessions, scientists contemplated the deployment of a complex spacecraft entailing a multi-billion-dollar investment to conduct scientific exploration on Europa. Planetary scientist Jennifer Heldman introduces a compelling perspective, suggesting the potential utilization of Starship architecture for outer solar system missions in ways previously unexplored. She envisions a revolutionary approach to venturing into the outer reaches of the solar system, all made possible by the capabilities offered by Starship. In stark contrast, NASA's conventional approach involves landing a collection of scientific payloads equivalent in size to an unfinished single-story house. The transformative aspect of Starship lies in its colossal size and cost-effectiveness in launching payloads. This stands in sharp contrast to the conventional dilemma faced by esteemed organizations like NASA and the European Space Agency, where mission choices are constrained by soaring launch costs in the tens of millions of euros. The remarkably affordable launch cost of the Starship, potentially as low as $2 million a launch, stands as a gateway to an array of new exploration possibilities. Moreover, it holds a distinct advantage over other super heavy-lift rockets in the developmental pipeline, such as NASA's continuously delayed and costly Space Launch System and Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket, which is yet to have a specific launch date. A key feature of the Starship design is its upper part, designed to be refueled in Earth orbit by additional Starships. This innovative approach allows a greater proportion of its lifting capacity to be allocated to scientific equipment rather than fuel. For example, consider the scenario of sending humans to the moon, a task that typically demands 8 separate launches. In this setup, each tanker Starship would deliver fuel to the lunar Starship, which is then free to transport research equipment and crew to the moon. This novel refueling strategy optimizes efficiency and resource allocation for space exploration missions. Scientists are increasingly realizing the potential of what they can achieve with a Starship spacecraft. The primary distinction of a spacecraft lies in its payload, implying that it can transport full-sized equipment from Earth without the need to shrink everything to fit into a smaller vessel. Moreover, it can completely transform the nature of a moon sample return mission. Instead of carrying just a few kilograms of core samples as NASA planned, a Starship spacecraft could return with tons of samples. Not only the moon, but Starship also enables expensive expeditions to other locations, especially Mars, a future full of ambition envisioned by Musk. Speaking at International Astronautical Congress recently, he estimated the first unmanned Starship could land on Mars in the next 3 to 4 years. Well, even though Starship hasn't yet achieved orbit, with the timeline Elon shared and the concerted efforts of the entire SpaceX team that we've witnessed throughout this time, this is something worth looking forward to, a potential groundbreaking achievement for the world. The popular theoretical physicist and future professor Michio Kaku says the interplanetary baton is now in the hands of Elon Musk, the outspoken CEO of SpaceX, to revive Sagan's dream of a spacefaring civilization. Carl Sagan, the renowned astrophysicist from many decades ago, emphasized the need for humans to become a multi-planet species before the shooting range of asteroids in our solar system strikes Earth again. Sagan died in 1996, but his vision for humans to expand beyond the Earth has only grown more compelling as increased global threats like climate change, the pandemic, and more reveal the fragile state of single-planet existence. Earth has experienced at least 5 major extinction periods. And if this isn't worrying enough, the probability that the Earth will be hit by a civilization threatening small world in the next century is a little less than 1 in 1,000, said Sagan before his eventual passing. The probability of dying on a random commercial airline flight is 1 in 2 million. Dr. Michikaku confirmed his agreement with Elon's perspective once again. As an insurance policy, we have to make sure that humans become a two-planet species. And now, of course, Elon Musk has revived this vision by talking about a multi-planet species. Even Neil deGrasse Tyson, who calls himself one of SpaceX's biggest critics, also believes that Elon's SpaceX Starship orbit project has more merit and a higher chance of going beyond suborbital flight. The concept of SpaceX is we want to send people to places. It's an effort to push that limit, the frontier of exploring space. However, Elon's bold ambition is not without dissent from some segments of the scientific community. Even though Musk has revolutionized other parts of the rocket industry, getting a rocket onto Mars is really hard, said Bruce Jakosky, a planetary scientist and primary investigator on the Mars Maven satellite. It's not something you can just go down to the corner store, have them whip together a spacecraft, and then launch it, he said. Starship has yet to make a successful test flight, and yet Musk has said he plans to put the first person on Mars by 2029. While Jakosky admires all Musk has done to reinvigorate public interest in space, he doesn't think his approach to colonizing Mars is realistic or even plausible or credible. And then, if we manage to get to Mars, what will happen next? If Musk succeeds and gets people to Mars before scientists finish studying its surface, it could threaten humanity. For making one of the greatest discoveries of all time, said Andrew Coates, a physics professor at University College's London Muller Space Science Laboratory. Coates, who's a principal investigator on an upcoming mission to explore the red planet, says Mars is attractive for a reason. It has a lot of the conditions that would make it a good place to settle. There's frozen water on the planet that could be melted for drinking water and to make more rocket fuel. And there's some of the chemistry that scientists look for in building livable surfaces. Coates said, including carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. But those very elements are also the reason he thinks we should leave it alone. Between 3 and 4.1 billion years ago, scientists think Mars looked a lot like Earth. It had a thick, protective atmosphere, and certain parts were covered in giant lakes of liquid water, which may have contained life. If humans somehow successfully terraformed Mars, the change in its global climate could disrupt the soil and ice that may preserve evidence of ancient alien life, Coates said. That would be cosmic vandalism, in my view, to change the environment of Mars from what it is at the moment. Bringing 1 million people to Mars could disrupt the collection of materials that could help scientists prove life can exist beyond Earth, he said. In general, these are some opinions from certain scientists, and we cannot evaluate them based on a single perspective. Since Starship has not achieved orbit, there are still doubts about its capabilities that cannot be avoided. However, things will change in the last months of 2023 with a high likelihood that Starship gets a flying permit. Until this colossal rocket achieves success in its first journey, the future of human space exploration is not far off. Regardless of what anyone says, conquering Mars remains a great exploration, and we can see much potential benefit from it rather than fearing anything. That's all for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Please let us know what you think in the comment section below. Your feedback's very important to us and helps us make better videos for you. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.